Hi guys, welcome to today's upload. 95 of you now hit subscribe and that bell icon, so keep on hitting that subscribe button, keep hitting that bell icon, so you'll be in and updated anytime when I do any videos right here on this channel. Now I just want to say to every one of you guys at home that is watching this, I want to say this. You know when I did the AEW Redemption 2026 video about taking risks, I want to say this was a massive risk what they actually prevailed last night on Collision. Now, it's not very often I talk about Collision because I don't get a chance to normally watch it, but I sat and watched it. I enjoyed the show, don't get me wrong, but the highlight of that night, if you are not studying it properly, you are missing our treat because there's been little Easter eggs left, right, and centre towards obviously up to where Will Ospreay joined the Death Riders. Like I said, he will end up joining them, and then all of a sudden last night, it's living proof how much the Death Riders have more control over Will Ospreay than you realise. Because you've got to think, as a wrestling fan, how interesting this is going to be for Will Ospreay. Because Will Ospreay, yeah, he's the poster boy at the moment for the company. And for them to turn him heel last night, well, this is the start of it. You've got pretty much 5 weeks of programming. Well, technically 4 weeks now of programming. So that's 8 back-to-back episodes. You could easily go on both shows, which I hope they do. Or they're going to utilize it on Collision, or they're going to utilize it on Dynamite. I don't mind wherever they're going to utilize it, but I want to see elements what they're actually going to do, see how much of a risk they're actually going to do this, because they've already started implementing the next level to him joining the Death Riders, and the Death Riders are now turned heel once again. So they've been between his left, right, and centre over the duration since this faction's been in AEW, let alone professional wrestling. So they've been hit and miss because one minute they're wearing white shirts that look like the faces and all that lot. Then all of a sudden they went back into dark clothes. I feel like they're actually going to turn them full blown heel once again, because you could tell by the way John Moxley was on commentary when he was like, "Oh, Will, make him pay for what he's done to you." And if that's his finisher with the, I forget what the technical terminology is, because I'm not diehard wrestling fan as you may think, because I don't remember what names of moves are, but where you literally elbow into the back of the head until pretty much he's passed out. And I literally to find that an interesting, bold move in itself to give Will Ospreay a move like that. So you look at the bigger picture of this, right? The poster boy of the company at the moment. This is why I dub him the, how to put it in a polite term, the Shawn Michaels of the WWE. From his promos to the way people may not realize it, but he just reminds me so much of a Shawn Michaels sort of scenario when he was the Heartbreak Kid. You know, the height of the peak of his career when he was actually the technically the poster boy of the company, when he was the world champion, even though he had to be lose his smile and so on like that. But he was still that poster boy that he always had. People may think that WWE didn't have him as a poster boy, even though there were so many big names in that spot, but you used him as a poster boy. And that's why I feel like what AEW's done for Will Ospreay since he's been in the company. And when I look at the bigger picture of it, with Will Ospreay going into Wembley is the biggest, insane move, but it could work in a lot of favors for the likes of AEW. Because everyone was thinking, "Oh, they're going to turn two faces having a match. How's this going to work? Oh, they're going to turn Kenny heel." I see no end of people on TikTok as well as here on YouTube that were saying, "Oh, it's so obvious. They're going to make Kenny the cleaner again. Oh, they're going to make him a heel and so on like that." Nope, they've done the 180 on you. They've literally turned Will Ospreay heel. The way he was last night, this is the start of the heel run. And it makes it so interesting because I've said for numerous of weeks there's been little Easter eggs, right? From ditching the bright colours, you know, the greens, the different colours that he has on his attire to where it's now gone basically grey and black. And now is technically the start of the birth of the heel run that we love here in the United Kingdom of Will Ospreay. You're going in your own country into a massive stadium, hopefully full of fans, not top, that bought tickets so far and buying tickets. You are going full throttle with this, and it's bold. It's fucking bold, and I tell you one thing: fans love heels more than faces at the moment, and this is living proof of it. How much of a fucking interesting move this is for professional wrestling. You know, I think I watched him when he was in New Japan. I think he was a heel there. I could be wrong, but technically, I don't recall ever seeing him on the independent circuit here in the United Kingdom. That's gone honest truth. The shows I went to, he was always a fan favourite. Everyone loved him. Everyone appreciated him. Now, you just think, I'm just saying this, guys, don't twist my words. But I feel like Wembley needs something like this. You got to think, right? If this happens and they execute it perfectly, I feel like Will be booed out of the building. And what a way to end All In. That is fucking crackers, just thinking about it. I've got goose pimples growing. Just thinking about it. That reaction. You finally get your world title shot. You finally win the world title, but you're booed in your own country. Brave. Absolutely brave decision to do that, Tony Khan. Absolute brave. See? That's where I've said AEW takes risks. I've seen it coming, don't get me wrong. But when they're starting to execute it now this is going to be an interesting thing in professional wrestling. You know, people knock AEW for how many tickets they've sold for All In. It's less than normally last time they were here. Come on, guys. Right? All I can say is this. Believe at some point, if they end up selling out Wembley, like I say to you, wrestling can't make that much of an impact these days in 2026. If they do sell out Wembley and they sell out the allocated seats, all I can say is to everyone of you that is watching this, what an interesting time to be a wrestling fan to watch AEW. And people say that AEW can't make stories, and let alone this has been one interesting story going forward. Could we see him that much of a turn of heel that he's had enough of John Moxley, then just attacks John Moxley, then the crowd just automatically changes their reaction from boos to cheers? If that's such a natural reaction to what's going off in the ring, with the way the UK fans are, we are not fickle. We're just honest when it comes to professional wrestling. And people can't handle honesty towards professional wrestling. You wonder why my channel has got not many subscribers. Do I actually care? Do I follow the fold like kissing ass to a company? No. You know, but end of the day, I enjoy watching AEW. I give you honesty as they come. I've said in previous videos stuff I didn't like, but all I can say is they're on a roll at the moment with AEW. But it's a bold, risky move to do it.